For billions of years, dragons have always been the leading creatures, causing destructive disasters across the world every time they appear. People have to brace themselves to resist. The most special is the family of Count Kobik. Their legends all involve a constant battle with dragons. Their only weak point is their eyes, but this is extremely difficult to damage. So the magicians are the ones responsible for shooting down the Lord of the Sky with magic. But then one day, with neither sun nor rain, a black dragon appeared and shattered all hopes of the brave warriors. Its incarnation is considered a disaster, recorded as a legend. With only 2 appearances in the past, a series of cities have disappeared at the Count's mansion. At this time, his daughter chose to stay and face the situation. Instead of evacuating, she knew her father was on the front lines, so she cannot abandon the people and run away. At the most desperate moment, a genius magician appeared, also known as the Silent Witch, unique geniuses of the kingdom, and is one of the 7 sages, those considered the strongest. Somehow she was able to destroy the black dragon single-handedly, simultaneously stood up to end the tense war with her powerful ability. Now the Absol Dragon Pack has lost its leader and is causing chaos everywhere. And then the gates of heaven were opened. A different person makes great things happen. A genius who changed the magical world. This is Monica, our heroine. The greatest wizard destroyed the entire swarm of raging dragons, made the night of that day unusually beautiful. Back to reality. Monica is now living alone in a small house in the mountains. Occasionally, someone will bring food to this shy girl. In the house, there is also a black cat named Nero, which is her servant. The little girl then told the story of 3 months ago. There is a dragon attack on the eastern border. It was the largest Absol heard in recent years and was led by a legendary black dragon. And the one who finishes the threat, that is one of the 7 sages. These are the 7 best magicians in the country. Hearing about her exploits, Monica pretended to know nothing. She prefers to live quietly like this, not competing with anyone. The little girl did not recognize the person standing in front of her was a silent witch, the youngest wizard in the world. Doesn't need chanting, but she can still use spells. Just hearing about no incantation magic already makes her so excited. The female then paid for the little girl, making her suspicious. What this lady does to be so rich? Just pay several times more money. Monica pretends to be a mathematician. Hearing that, the little girl said, "The person who just came to my village to find me must also be a mathematician," because he said he was her colleague. So this little girl showed the way here. As soon as she finished speaking, the female protagonist's hands and feet trembled and she turned around to see Louis outside. Without thinking, Monica closed the door to see the guests off. It is not easy. That guy is just as strong as she is. Easy to block doors. The little sis gave her big sis a painfully brutal squeeze. Also asked permission to leave so they could slowly confide. The reason he introduced himself as a colleague because this guy is also one of the 7 sages. Humans have never been able to control mana, if not chanting. But there was a genius who broke all those rules. Turned the impossible into possible just because of my shyness. Just because of shyness, locked herself in a mountain cabin. But no one can deny she is one of the greatest magicians ever known. The reason for being able to use magic without chanting is pretty stupid. Monica is extremely shy and has a fear of crowds. Also cannot talk normally. When meeting strangers, this syndrome is so bad that it can make vomit. And unconscious, obviously unable to chant spells, like a normal person, at risk of failing the graduation exam. Monica thought of a way to use magic without thinking, and that was it. While others will try to overcome shyness and fear. But maybe because of being different, Monica has gone beyond all common sense. And since then, her talent began to blossom. Genius girl very quickly mastered the magic of no mind to sit in the position of the 7 sages. Seeing her using magic for small tasks, like taking the staff out to dry clothes, Louis thinks Monica is wasting her talent. He then asked Jin to set up a soundproof barrier on the table to discuss important matters. This maid is a high-level wind spirit who came here today to ask her for an important favor. He was previously asked by His Majesty to protect the 2 princes, while he himself was on the side of the crown prince. That's why the story becomes ridiculous. The question is, why did His Majesty know, but still order protection for his second son? It would be disrespectful to speculate on His Majesty's intentions, so they will not discuss that here for now. Received a request to ensure safety while not being detected by the 2 princes. Louis tried to do a good job. Felix is currently studying at a boarding school. It would be perfect if he pretended to be a student and blended in. The only problem is that his fame and handsome appearance are too much, so it is not convenient to do secret missions. To do the job, he prepared a tracking device. It both emits a signal when the subject is in danger and creates a barrier to protect the user. The main function is to monitor and report. This self-defense magic tool was created by Louis, but yesterday it was destroyed by the second prince. He had previously asked His Majesty to send his son for the convenience of monitoring work. No one wants to be watched. As long as it get caught, it's okay. Sweated all week to create it, and it was destroyed in one night. Isn't that bitter? Monica asked about the prince and found out he was fine. Rather, that person destroyed the magical tool himself and claimed that he accidentally damaged it, and also discovered that Louis was following. Having said this, he thought his colleague must have understood. The naive female lead shook her head. The old man laughed and said he wanted to ask the wordless wizard to replace him in the academy to protect his highness. Monica would never agree because she does not participate in social activities, so no one knows the face. During school time, always bowed her head and covered. More importantly, no one would think a shy girl is a wise girl, right? Chantless magic is extremely suitable for this task. The little girl still refused to put her head down on the table. The other side said that for the past 2 years, Monica has been locking herself here and doing nothing. She recounted her exploits 3 months ago, but Louis recounted even more. He doesn't force the girl to do everything like him, but sometimes there are things that only she can do. Monica cried out under too much pressure, but cannot refuse, because Majesty has given all power to this guy. The plan here is to make Monica become the adopted daughter of Count Kobik, along with another. They will make Monica the bully, to match shy personality. Both of them enrolled in Serendio, where the two princes were staying. After hearing the plan, Monica was shocked and showed no signs of recovering until evening. The black cat spirit Nero must try to wake his friend up, and said if you don't want to do, why don't you run away? But Louis will follow her to the ends of the earth. That guy is as scary as the ruler of hell, my friend. The cat advised to think positively, because being friends with a prince is fun too. The next morning, they were taken to Louis's house. Louis's maid suggests landing in an interesting way, but not likely for fear of plunging headfirst into the ground. Rosalie, Louis' wife, just saw Monica and dragged her to the doctor. At first glance, can tell this girl is malnourished and anemic. 16 years old, should be much more developed than this. After a while, Monica was fattened like a pig. Lois then introduced the person playing the bully, who will attend school with the female lead. Countess Kobik has agreed to this, because 3 months ago, Monica helped their family destroy the Black Dragon. Their family is willing to repay in anything if she need. Outside, the young lady also laughed at the female lead because she looked rustic. Actually, she is acting as a bully and asking if her voice was okay. After hearing the news that he will be working with the silent wizard, she has been practicing every day until now. By introduction, she is Isabel, the Count's daughter. On behalf of the people and the honorable father, she would like to express her sincere thanks to the great sage when destroyed the evil dragon. Even though Isabel hasn't met the female lead yet, she still knows she's extremely strong. That day when the territory was engulfed in flames by the blazing dragon, she thought life was over. Then where did the ray of light shoot through the dragon's head? Save everyone from death penalty. What followed was an indescribable performance. Isabel has since then fallen in love with the female lead, Monica, coming and going in a very cool way. No need for thanks or rewards. The other friend promised to try to do well. Bully rolled to tease the witch wordless a lot. Surely with their combination will protect Her Highness the Prince. The cat outside looked in and felt for her friend. A quiet person then met a talkative girl. Back to the days when Monica confidently showed off her personality. When she was little, her father once bought her a ruler. With this item, Monica goes around the house measuring everything around her, feeling so happy. When she woke up, she found herself almost at the academy. After entering to meet the principal, Isabel begins to act as a villainess to help the silent witch, before knowing that we'll have to live with strangers. She was confused, so she pretended to push Monica to sleep in the attic alone, because as a servant, how can sleep with nobles? Isabel acted very well, and even pretended to be so shocked that she rolled on the ground. The teacher saw that and was willing to do as she wished. At least Monica lived in the attic, as sleeping in a horse is a bit rude. The female lead was shocked after hearing that and secretly praised this villain for acting. The scene shifts to the two princes dealing with a very serious case of embezzlement. The subject is Aaron from the student council. All evidence from the bookkeeping and related matters is in hand. Just a quick search and found more than 30 times of embezzlement. It's really crazy. Besides, he also pockets extra budget money. Aaron's unmasking is undeniable. He was introduced to the student council by the Duke, so this case greatly affects the family's power. The young man tried to keep calm, think that person will handle this. But in mind, he can't figure out who that person is. So Aaron went crazy. Immediately rushed in with the intention of attacking, also called the second prince a dog. As a result, he was restrained and convicted of trying to harm His Highness. Perhaps the culprit seems to have hidden his identity. Then the council announced that Aaron would be suspended from school until the decision to drop out of school is made. This period of time will probably be enough for him to realize that how stupid he was. On the other side, after the performance, the two sisters also expressed their desire to sleep together and had a lot of fun playing together. Unfortunately, she had to act now so as not to interfere with Monica's duties. And Isabel also introduced the others as the Count's children. Wearing student badges shows that they are all from noble lineage. After a while, the female lead was transferred into a normal class. Monica was so embarrassed in introduction that she couldn't even raise her head. The teacher also reminded that the students were at the top school, must be confident and intelligent. Monica was stunned after hearing that because she was still afraid of crowds. That's why no one wants to approach during recess. Only Lana, the cute girl, was curious and wanted to make friends, while the others criticized her everything. Lana asks about the trendy hairstyle at Monica's place. Then the female lead does not know. Seeing that Monica was too shy, Lana tried to act friendly, introducing the latest lipstick models in the capital. However, other girls think Lana just showing off in front of country girls. They was annoyed, but Lana still didn't care about those teasing words. So she turned around and fixed the female lead's hairstyle. In the first meet, was taken care of by someone, the speechless, which didn't know how to thank her. Lana finished and left. Looking in the mirror, she saw that this hairstyle suited her very well, but seeing herself so bad because she can't say anything. It's time for dinner and the heroine starts looking for the prince. But now she doesn't know his face. WTF protecting someone without knowing their face, really? Every time she sees someone she's scared, crawled into a corner and told herself that if she couldn't do this, Louis would kill. After running for a while, Monica was so hungry as she took out some nuts for lunch. Looking for a quiet corner but ended up in a flower garden. By chance, she discovered someone sitting reading a book. She was planning to move to another place, but was suddenly arrested because of suspicion of plotting to harm someone. Tried to explain that he was looking for a place to have lunch, but the other guy didn't believe it. The witch was so scared that she fell down and dropped all the seeds. His Highness requested that the person be released because she's not involved. The young man was afraid that this was the person Aaron hired to harm the prince. The female lead still doesn't realize that the young man in front of her is the second prince. The other side heard that there were 2 new transfer students today, so it must be her because she looks so strange. Being vindicated, she still did not dare to open her mouth, but only nodded in admission. To Felix, the female lead is just like a harmless squirrel. Also apologized for disturbing her lunch. Was about to thank him when suddenly a strange object fell down. The prince also stood up to cover, but was protected by the female lead. The subordinates were furious and quickly ran to find the person behind it. Suddenly being pressed down like this made Monica unable to hide her emotions, then unconscious. While in a coma, Monica recalls being mistreated just because the beloved father made a mistake. Was threatened not to speak, so from then until now she is always scared to communicate with. A girl then came up and said she was Atema, the female lead's caretaker. Being patted on the head, the Witch King thought this person's hand was so beautiful. Monica also returned to her room in the attic to rest until evening. Just as was lying face down on the bed, Nero asked how her day was. She cried so much that she wanted to run away from this place. The Black Head gave up and said she caused trouble and vent just in the first day. Then he reminded Monica that if her identity was accidentally revealed, she should use magic on their brain to erase their memories. But Monica doesn't want to change people's minds. If something goes wrong, the other person will have memory problems. Nero heard that and also encouraged. Monica confided that many people treated her well, but she has not thanked them yet. Hearing that, Nico transformed into human form to help the female lead. Practice seeing this face, Monica was shocked, didn't want the cat to take that form to tease her. Nico is still naughty and continues to scare and ask her to say thank you. Forced to praise what he has done for her. The 2 children played cat and mouse running around the room. After a while, suddenly realized there was a suspect had just passed by. The witch then used magic to see clearly and able to guess who this is. Nero thought this man was the one targeting the prince, but that's not true. That night the female lead dreamed again. Saw Dad working hard to complete research project. He knew that this was only a small part, maybe even spend the rest of his life to solve it. After waking up and starting a new day, the female lead realized that she had never paid attention to her hair. But why does Monica feel like she prefers yesterday's hairstyle? She asked Nero what worthy effort was, but the cat didn't know. Saw her friend thinking. He also said that he also thinks that sometimes, because he is very smart, so asks Monica to praise him. The feeling of being praised made him warm. It also says some cool things in the book like life is an effort. Monica remembers what her father once said. The bigger the challenge, the more fun. The silent witch suddenly wanted to overcome her fear, to thank the people who were nice to her yesterday. That is first challenge. After that, heroine then walks up to Lana with the worst hairstyle ever. She said she tried to do it the way her friend showed her, but it didn't work. Also say thank you when given a lanyard. At first, Lana also acted cold to let Monica voluntarily say what she wanted to say. As expected, the female lead asked to learn how to tie like yesterday. In her head told how stupid she was when it's just simple like that, but she can't. Blonde girl found it funny and burst out laughing, then called her friend to sit down and talk. But the comb Lana uses is made by a craftsman, also studded with precious stones. Speaking of this, she thought about the teasing words of her friends yesterday. Actually, Lana doesn't mean to brag. It's just her hobby. Asked Monica if she was bored of hearing that nonsense since her family had just gotten rich recently. So there is no good topic to tell. Monica said I was also called boring by others because it's just about math. Hearing that, the blonde laughed and thought this girl was really weird. Those two friends became close friends and helped each other do their hair. Lana finished tying it and asked Monica to take it off and do it again from the beginning to get used to it. Just at this moment, the guy from yesterday came to find the female lead, make the little girl scream. She ran to hide, but it was not easy. He found her to be a really shy squirrel. Then he asked to follow to talk. So Monica went to the student council to meet Felix, knowing that this person is the second princess need to protect. She also surprised. Imagine being discovered by Louis meeting His Highness in a silly situation. It's really dead. Monica shyly said thank you for helping picking up the fruit yesterday and also taken to the medical room to rest. The blonde said it was just a small matter. No need to thank. She heard that and asked about last night. Where did he go that he sneaked out of the dormitory? The other guy was shocked to hear that because Felix would never do that. The female lead is definitely the president. She told the story of the person whose face was covered, but whose body looked exactly like him. The young man tried to deny it but was exposed because Monica played with the tape measure since he was little. So Monica had the ability to guess the height of all things correctly. She also wrote about body proportions and all sorts of things. Also praised Felix for having a body that is the standard of beauty. That's why it's called the golden ratio. Whenever she talks about calculations, she forgets that she is shy. Talking continuously made the other two shocked. When she came to, she saw that His Highness was thinking, and then admitted that stats were just like what she said. The friend knew the shy squirrel was right, so he turned and asked Felix. He didn't mention last night. Just call himself back empty-handed. Monica is now no longer suspected of being Aaron's henchman, because what kind of evil person would say everything out loud like her? In short, is just a harmless little squirrel. His friend talked about the flower pot that almost fell on his head yesterday. The female lead heard that and thought it was an accident, so she asked. But Phillips did not hesitate to tell the story of the treasurer. The man is currently being held in custody pending his formal dismissal. However, since yesterday until now the second has been targeted. So they thought Aaron had accomplices, so they set a trap. How the hell did the female lead come and ruin the plan? Seeing that she was too easy, the other to force her to find her accomplice to clear her name. Outside, Monica could only cry for her fate because it was so miserable. It's even more heartbreaking to see Nero calls her a suspect. The female lead sat crying in the backyard, also admitting she is stupid. The cat felt sorry for and also patted and comforted her. Reminder of current work, that is to find the assassin for the prince. Go to the scene to see, and saw that it was just an empty flower pot. So she decided to go upstairs to check. Then came across a scene of high-class nobles bullying someone. They were talking about how this girl's fiancé, Aaron, had been arrested. Just then Lana walked over and saw her friend wanting to go upstairs, but was blocked by those people, so she helped. But the other girl didn't care about them because her status was higher. And also make Lana say hello properly. But the blonde was not afraid and continued to provoke. Also take the example of a cow that is smart enough to know when to give way. Hearing it was so bitter, the opponent directly pushed down. But the one who suffered was Monica. In a moment of danger, the witch silently told herself that if she used magic on her bod, but she would be discovered. The idea here is to turn the stairs into a barrier like a slide. Just like that, the female lead let herself fall down straight into the vice president. He looked concerned. When he asked her about the wound, Monica apologized for being scared. Luckily, this young man is easygoing, so there is no blame. Vice President asked for an explanation. The girls above relied on their numbers, blamed everything on Lana. Also think that people with status like themselves will be trusted more. The heroine knows that this is a place that emphasizes social status, and she doesn't want to get involved with people in power. She knows what to do. Even if the other side says a mosquito is a fly, still have to listen. She had experienced it herself before, so she understood very well. The female lead tries to say a few words to help Lana, that she slipped and fell by herself and no one pushed her, then ran away to the surprise of the blonde. In the room nearby, someone was playing the piano. The speechless witch pretended to forget something on the balcony and went out to investigate. There are a few pots here, but nothing suspicious. Because she is short and light, the female lead has to put her feet up to see down. So Monica also guessed that the location where the culprit threw the flower pot was here. She had not gone anywhere, but her white gloves were already dirty. Suddenly, the girl remembered something, but was kicked out and asked who had the key to this room and found out it was shared. So just write an application to borrow. At this moment in the president's office, he is asking his younger brother about not liking Monica. Well, he said she's not a noble, but at least better than someone who sneaks out at night like Sir Felix. The prince said he didn't want Duke Rockford involved in this matter, himself not incompetent to handle even a single case. At this moment, the female lead came in and announced that she knew who the culprit was. In Selma's class, Aaron's fiancé continues to be the butt of jokes for the girls. This girl knows her place, so she doesn't react at all, just let people tease her. Just then she was called to the student council room to settle things. The second prince mentioned the incident where a falling board could have harmed, most recently a flower pot. The young man even said that Monaco was the one who informed him that she was behind the two aces. Asked to explain, the female lead also gave evidence. Monaco was calculating every little thing, then Felix scolded her and asked her to skip that part. It's too long, she should summarize. The story of the flower pot was dropped from the 4th floor and there was information about Selma having registered to borrow a room. She told Jesui there to water the flowers. However, the female lead added that because they were both of the same height, they could not reach the railing. That's why she needs something to prop it up, and doing so will dirty gloves. And that day, Selma didn't wear it at all because it was dirty. Monica Els found the gloves in the trash near the music room, and on it was embroidered the first letter of her name. This little girl was exposed and went crazy, admitting her actions. Also proactively admitted to editing the books on behalf of Aaron. Said he was deceived by her, so please forgive that person. Also hope not to separate them because she has nothing left. After solving the problem, the female lead